My name is Carson Williams, and I'm going to be going over the software requirement specifications document for my group software project, Bizboard. And the purpose of our SRS document is to explain how Bizboard will be designed, how it will be built, what features the final product is meant to include, how we're going to test them, and those kinds of things that any stakeholders or developers or supervisors would need to know. So this document can be their guide for those things. Generally speaking, Bizboard is a digital business card application, which allows students, professionals, teams to host all of their professional information in one shareable, accessible profile. And that includes resumes, portfolios, CVs, and we have here our terms and definitions. Bizboard is a standalone web-based application, which is also mobile friendly and desktop friendly, and can optionally be integrated into applications like LinkedIn and Google Drive. We're using a Node JavaScript backend server, as well as an SQL Plus database in order to handle our profile information and our data. So for our operating systems and browsers, we are focusing our attention on the most updated and most used browsers and systems, such as Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Safari, Android 10 or higher, those operating systems. A few of our most important design constraints are that all connections must use secure HTTPS protocols and that the interface must be fully responsive for mobile users. And then the final one is that all stored user data must be encrypted for security purposes. To meet the needs of our users, our most important functional requirements are the account creation and login, profile and business card creation, QR code generation for sharing your profile, and then obviously the document uploads for resumes, CVs, portfolios, other links and files. And then we also have the administrator controls for managing individual or team profiles. And all uploads and profiles must be encrypted and fully editable at any time, which takes us to the non-functional requirements. These include that profile pages and cards must load in under 5 seconds. We must be able to support at least 10,000 concurrent users. And again, since we care about accessibility and security, user data must be encrypted and stored on a secure cloud platform. And our interface will follow WCAG accessibility standards. For our external interface requirements, we will have user interfaces, including a dashboard for profile and card creation, a card editor, an admin panel for HR officials or team leaders, and then also a mobile-friendly layout. Bizboard is also meant to be integrated with Firebase authentication or Auth0 for secure login. A lot of our system features are things that I already mentioned, though a few more are drag and drop card editing with live previews, and then admin tools for inviting team members, assigning permissions, bulk editing of profiles. And then our final section is the other requirements, which include creating a secure cloud platform to host and store data, and then displaying the terms of service and privacy policy before users register their accounts. And now Denia will explain the software design document.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denia Rosiclair, and I will be presenting the software design document for our project Bizboard. So our software design document outlines how the system is structured, covering its architecture, components, its data models, and design decisions. So we use a layered architecture that follows both the client server model and the MVC pattern. So that means we divided the system into three core layers. The model manages the data and the logic. The view handles what the user sees, and the controller connects user actions to system behavior. By using this approach, it helped us keep everything secure and easy to scale. So here we broke Bizboard up into 5 main components. The authentication module manages login and registration using Firebase or Auth0. The profile and card manager lets users build and customize their digital cards. The document upload service handles uploading resumes and portfolios. The admin dashboard gives admin control over users and permissions, and the template engine lets users choose and personalize their card layouts. Each of these components has its own data, logic, and defined outputs that are all working together to deliver the main features of the app. So going over our data design, we define the data structures that supports everything like users, business cards, documents, templates, and teams. We also mapped out how the data flows through the system. For example, when someone uploads a file, is sent to the cloud storage through the backend and linked to their card in the database. Similar flows are defined for logging in, creating cards, and admin activity. So for our design constraints, there were just a few technical limits that we had to account for. Bizboard had to work across both desktop and mobile, support at least 10,000 users at once and keep files under 10 megabytes. We also had to build everything using very specific tools like React for the front end and Node.js with Express for the back end. So for us, security was a major priority. We use HTTPS, we encrypted all sensitive data and limited access through role-based permissions. We also added CAPTCHA protection, rate limits, and cloud storage encryption to prevent abuse. And we also made sure that user data is backed up and also recoverable in case of a system failure. Design decisions, going over that a little bit, explaining why we chose our tech stack. We use React because it's lightweight and well supported. Node.js and Express gave us the flexibility on the back end. Firebase or Auth0 made authentication both easier and more secure. And for our database, we use a database model with SQL Plus to handle both user and card data. So that wraps up our software design document. Thank you guys for listening, and I will be passing it on to our next speaker.
Hello, my name is Francesca Dumary, and I'm going to present the software test document for Bizboard. The goal of this document is to confirm that all the features work as expected and meet the requirements we outline in the SRS document and the software design document. So in this document, we have the table of contents, which includes our test plan. When we created this test plan, we tried to define the features we tested, the methods we used, and how we determined whether a test has passed or failed. The key features we tested were user registration and login, profile customization, QR code generation, document uploads, and card creation and sharing. And in a later section, we have our testing levels. These levels include unit testing for individual components, integration testing, just to make sure the components work together, system testing to evaluate the full platform, and acceptance testing to check if the system met users' expectations. So we wrote 5 test cases. The first one was testing the login. Our second test case was for creating the business cards. The third test case was for the QR code. The fourth test case was for uploading documents, and the fifth test case was for the admin to edit profile information. And we also established testing procedures. When we did our test, 4 out of 5 test cases have passed. The only one that failed was for uploading documents. The My Tech checker rejected the file. We documented this issue in a defect report and marked it as high priority. Since uploading documents is a required feature, we also use a traceability matrix that maps each test case to the requirements in the SRS. This helped us confirm that our testing has covered all of the functions for the program. We tested our program on a Windows laptop and Apple iOS devices. We use the latest browsers and tools to simulate different scenarios, and our backend stack included Node.js, Express, Firebase, and SQL. And we also use Postman to test APIs. In conclusion, Bizboard has passed most of its core tests. Features like login, card creation, QR code generation, and role management work well across the platforms. Once the document upload is resolved, the system will be stable and ready for release.